Yep. Here we go. Let's get it going, man. It's your boy G. Bush. It's almost game day. The return of your boy and one of the most highly anticipated games of all time. Yes, indeed, it is one of the most highly anticipated games of all time for the Cleveland Browns. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because I don't know, there's a weird reaction to Browns fans, how it seems like somebody don't want nothing good. You don't want nothing to pop off. You actually watching to see what's going to go on, to see how many L's they going to take. Well, let me tell you something. This is the opportunity that we've all been wanting. This is what we've been looking for. This is what we've been lobbying for, what we've been looking at, what everybody's saying. Just give him the opportunity, give him the shot. Let's get it going, see what he can do. And he's going to get that opportunity today. He's going to get that opportunity in a couple of hours. Less than, maybe 24, 36 hours in Las Vegas, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to get to everything. We're going to go get the keys to victory. We're going to give you how he should be moving. And more than anything, what we got to really do is start to talk about this. It is time for you to embrace the moment. Time to live in the moment. Because unfortunately, I've always told you guys that this day was going to come and they were only going to give you one moment. Not a minute, not 3-4 years, not 6 or 7 games, not even 4 quarters. They're going to give you a minute. And that's the way this game works. But also the way the game works is when you got a gift and you can move like that and you let your gift speak for you, once you triumph, once you do what you need to do, everybody got to shut up then. Everybody got to come to the conclusion that, you know what, might have not been a little fair about the situation, but fair don't count. This ain't not about fair. This is about going out, taking what you want. We got a game coming up, Las Vegas Raiders versus Cleveland Browns, 2-8 teams, but I'm going to tell you why this is one of the most exciting games on offense and defense that you're going to see. And, of course, you get your coffee ready. You get everything ready. It's your boy G. Bush in the Barbershop on a Saturday, the most electrifying in the entire game, right here on Facebook, right here on YouTube, right here on Twitter, doing it the only way the big homie can do it. Already hit that like button on the way in. Hit that subscribe button on the way in. We got to get to it. No pleasantries needed. It's your boy G. Bush. Let me sip my coffee. This going to be one of them. And I say that all the time, but this super going to be one of them. Because I woke up this morning like I was playing. I woke up this morning and I was getting chills and jittery. And I'm like, man, the anticipation is palpable. It's in the air. The buzz is crazy. National buzz, local buzz. I don't know how many countless interviews I've done nationally. They say, what you thinking about, G. Bush? What is Shedeur Sanders going to do? You all got the cap on him. You capped. I always told you, all you can guarantee is your opportunity. All you can do is go out there and let it all hang. And because, let me talk to you, Shedeur. If you thought you was going to get the same energy that Dylan Gabriel got, you're wrong. If you thought that the people out here was going to actually embrace you and be optimistic about your starts and want to see you do something and have an evaluation, you're wrong. The harsh part about it is there's a distinct group of people in the fan base that want no parts of your evaluation. As a matter of fact, they would rather not see you play. They tried everything to this point to not see you play. They've tried everything they can to move people ahead of you. They've moved the goalpost so much they done tore down the stadium because the goalpost is so far away. It ain't even 100 yards no more. The goalpost is 300 yards on each side. Every standard that they gave to Dillon Gabriel, you don't get. Every opportunity that they've allowed Dillon Gabriel to get, you don't have. Every excuse, every moral compass, every item of patience, you don't have. You know what they told you? In one quarter, 2 quarters. See, this is why you is the way you is. It validate, oh, see what I was talking about. This is why he fell, and this is how he did this. And you never said why Dillon fell. And you're not going to. Because it's never been about whether Dillon Gabriel in an evaluation. It's about that they don't like you. They don't like what comes along with you. And a matter of fact, you ain't did nothing wrong. You say all the right things. You do whatever you can do. But let them mention your father and all of a sudden grown men spaz out. Let them mention the fact that, hey, listen, let's talk about reps here or something. And they all spaz out. They have to go across the world and talk about whether or not, and I'm being blown up right now. I don't know why people are blowing me up in the middle of the show. Apologize to y'all. Let me get this one here. Yeah, we cooking. I don't understand why we continue to keep going back litigating reps. I'm asking, it took me pulling teeth to even get people when I'm asking questions to say, let's talk about the football field. What are you going to do to get him prepared? What are the keys to victory? What are some things in growth you want to see in Shedeur? What are some things about the game plan that you want to see? What are some areas where they can attack, regular stuff like that, like regular quarterback conversation? But we can't even do that because you're pivoting back to what's comfortable. You're pivoting back to what you think and what you heard and why is this? And I'm going to prove right now, it was never about whether or not you could play or not. Exhibit A. Let me give you this. Remember when Dillon Gabriel was playing against the Minnesota Vikings? And I was on every platform. And I told them, how do you feel about Dillon Gabriel? I said, I'm not going to judge him on one game. He's playing in London. He's playing a team. He wasn't the starter. What I want to see is I want to see how he does this game. And then I want to critique him the next game to see if he cleaned those mistakes up. Then what I want to see after that is can you improve on that? Does the game slow down for you? Does the game, do you know how to manage the game better? Are you eventually taking deep shots? And I want a sample size of these 6 games, right? I want a sample size of these 6 games to see how you come out and how you think the game and the improvement level. You see, I was under the imagination that some of my colleagues and people in Brown Sphere, they actually understand football and would take a measured approach in terms of how they critique people. And I told them, you guys all know who I think is the better of the 2 quarterbacks. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Dillon Gabriel a fair runway to see whether or not he can play, because unlike everybody else, I was down for the competition. I was down for guys going throw for throw in camp. But then I went to camp and realized it was no competition. Dillon Gabriel was already going to get reps, and it is what it was. I was always for guys duking it out, guys throw for throw, let the best man win on the field and let it come. But I really came to the conclusion, like everybody else. And now it comes out this week, Kevin Stefanski said this was already supposed to be a redshirt year. He was never going to intend to play him. So if you are never going to intend to play him, how would you feel like he could, how would you feel like he was going to learn anything? Because you are always going to start Dillon Gabriel regardless of what happened. And let me show you in real time, why I know it's true and why everybody reacts the way it does. Because when I told you my measured approach, I said 6 games. And I said, y'all got to keep the same energy when Shedeur Sanders play. Oh, yeah, no, oh, no, yeah, definitely, G. No, I agree. That's a great take. Oh, G, listen, yeah, G, you're right. I think it would be a disservice to really do that. Dylan getting an opportunity, we're going to be patient with him. And then when Shedeur gets into the game, we're going to do that. Oh, really? Well, let me show you this. This is a quote from Nick Wright. Shout out to Nick Wright. This was a quote taken after the preseason game, right? And you see the level, the narrative, and the gymnastics coming up. He goes on, Nick Wright, and shout out to him. I usually agree with some of his takes when it comes to hoops. I don't know where he got this one from. Gabriel then, after some really bad practices, yes, because we were at all the practices, played quite well in the second preseason game. No, he did not. That's how you know when people be disqualifying themselves. He played quite well in the second preseason game. You must have not watched that game. He threw a pick 6 and fumbled. I don't understand. In a half. Then in the third preseason game, revisionist history, Gabriel played quite well again. He had a nice drive at the end of the first quarter or first half in that Rams game. Shedeur had a disastrous performance. Notice he didn't say nothing about the performance against the Panthers. 0. It's nothing in here about that. And now that, as far as the quarterback competition goes, that is not conspiratorial. First and foremost, y'all getting caught up in the conspiracy, and you act like you arguing with flat earthers or something. That's the problem the media gets. You push back so hard because you think these guys have conspiracy theories. These guys have conspiracy theories, and these people. You don't even matter, Shedeur Sanders. You arguing with people who support Shedeur Sanders. That is not unfair. That is not unjust. That is the life of the NFL as a late round pick. That is what happened here. No, what happened here was you blatantly mischaracterized how Dylan Gabriel played, and you blatantly keep conflating like he ain't a background pick. Like he ain't a third round pick that was over reached for. Then you discount the game that he played prior so that you can say you played back 2 games in a row. Now, all of a sudden, Dylan been cooking the whole time. I already told you it wasn't going to be fair. I'm educating you right now. All these folks on Twitter, they ain't never been no fair judgment of talent in football. This is people who want what they want because it ain't about the evaluation. And you say, G. Bush, why would you bring this up? Because I got to bring this up to bring this up. Nick Wright believes Shedeur Sanders is facing immense pressure on Sunday. If he's terrible, then more likely than not, this is the only start he'll get for any team. Do you see the difference in conversation? Do you see the difference in tone? Do you see the difference in dismissiveness? These people will make you believe that they actually be watching games and is a fair evaluator of what people are saying. They're not. How is it that you got 2 quarters, 2, and you came in at halftime, but now all of a sudden you got to be the second coming of Jesus of Nazareth, walk on water, turn water into wine, in your first game, or you're not only going to play for the Browns, you are never going to play another down for anybody else in the league. How do you have that much bravado and And it couldn't even get more about the level of bias that people be having. They were never into the evaluation. They lied through their teeth to you for weeks and months. Every single week we saw Dillon Gabriel struggle here, struggle here, struggle here. And people on the other side of the aisle was like, hey, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to show you some growth, some improvement. But you done already put the goalposts at, if you don't ball out this week, not only is he never playing again, he's never playing again for nobody. You actually think that these folks is fair and honest? It's not at all. Well, let me go ask this kind of question. let me ask this question. Set this up correctly. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Now, Dillon Gabriel been playing all year. Basically, his overall grade, according to PFF, is 38 out of 38 quarterbacks, meaning last. Where's all the energy for he'll never start again? Not only for the Browns, but anybody. And they're advocating he's already back in practice. Kevin Stefanski already said that if he was cleared, he would be starting right now. Why would you not mention that Dillon Gabriel is statistically the worst quarterback out of any starting quarterback? His passing grade, 38th. Where was the Dillon Gabriel is never playing for anybody? As a matter of fact, people advocated up to the point he got a concussion that they should keep playing him because he's young and needs to learn. Oh, what a revelation. What a change of heart. Where was all this energy at? But wait, it gets worse. Where is all of these dynamic games? So you mean to tell me, and according to PFF grades, a 70 plus is average. 70 plus is average. Against Detroit, 54.7. Minnesota, 63. Pittsburgh, 51. Miami Dolphins game, which they won, 47.6. At New England, 33.7. At the Jets, 63.5. And before he left the game, he was at a 49.4 grade against the Baltimore Ravens. So you sat through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 whole weeks, 7 whole practices, weeks full of practice, 7 game plans in which you've received every rep, every single game, 7 games. You get to Shedeur Sanders and he play in 2 quarters, and if he don't play good tomorrow, he's done. Does that sound like somebody who's knowledgeable about the game? Does that sound like somebody who is unbiased? Does that sound like somebody who's interested in saying, okay, let's give an opportunity to see what a guy can do? No, it seems like you don't like him. And I don't understand why people always go back and forth with people. Well, the Browns, are you just saying they don't like him? Yeah, idiots. Do you like everybody? You don't like nobody. You barely like your wife or your kids. It blows your mind that a coach might not like someone. Bernie Kosar is the most beloved quarterback in the history of the Browns, and Bill Belichick traded him because he changed an audible to play and scored a touchdown. Because he showed him up. That's Bill Belichick. Some people say it's the greatest coach ever. So, yeah, you can have a vendetta and you can have an axe to grind. And yeah, you just don't like certain people, right? So my thing listening to this is, this wasn't about nobody who can play. You got one dude that ain't been playing well right now. You got one dude that ain't played well, but yet and still, they go back to it. Even though he ain't playing well, if Shedeur don't play well, we're going to go back to Dillon Gabriel. I ain't living in the past here. All I'm doing is to highlight the situation at hand. All I'm doing is to set it up. All I'm doing is to make you understand that when you arguing with these folks on Twitter, stop arguing with people who don't like him. Stop arguing with people who already done made their mind up. Stop talking to people about no football when you know good and well that is all they want to talk about. Because if you are a person who can literally say a person gets 2 quarters and you see a person play like this for 6 games and you make it the same, you already told me what I need to know about you. You told on yourself. You told on yourself. No harm, no foul. I just ain't gonna argue back and forth with you because you just don't like him. You don't like him. You don't like what we stand for. You ain't really into it. I get it. I get it. I understand. Half the reason it's like this is because it is. Albert Breer says, it's probably like it was with Tim Tebow Mania on steroids. I don't think I've seen anything to compare this to. People who are building this up to be some sort of thing it's been built up to be. Let me tell you this. Let me just give you something. I don't want to go here, but I'll do it. This is the problem you have sometimes when 90% of your media, 90% of the people that do this has never put their finger in the ground, have never ran until they threw up, has never had to lift weights at 6 a.m. in the morning, didn't take yourself to class, didn't take yourself back to treatment. These folks ain't had to play with broken fingers and broken ankles, and you still play. They ain't never had to inject themselves with drugs so that you don't feel the pain just to play. They're not there in the emergency room when you wake up and it's your 3rd knee operation. They ain't there where you can't sit down because your legs hurt so much. They ain't there when it's cold outside and you still got to go practice, and you know they already done told you getting surgery already this year, and you got to fight it out and tough it out. These folks ain't been in them trenches. So what they be talking about is 2 different things, 2 different realities, where I live at and understand and what you live at and understand. And so let me tell you something about a lot of people who cover this thing. If you ain't never really done it at that level, there's a lot of dudes who get into this journalism business because it pays well and you're just close enough to the actions to make yourself feel that important. You're just close enough that you get to touch, smell, see the action. But you ain't never got to be in the field. You don't have to put nothing on the line for it. You can be around. I was in the locker room, but you didn't have to play. I was around $1 million players. but you didn't earn your millions. See, there's a lot of people who cover the sport who actually get to a point once they do it for so long, they think they equal to the players. Why you think they get so upset and get in their feelings? Why are you in your feelings? Why do I have to talk about a 5th round pick? Because it's your job. And if you didn't have this job, you wouldn't be doing anything else. What you mean, why do I have to talk about it? It's because that pays your check. You think people want to listen? Huh? And to be honest with this wasn't Wilson and Peterman. This Albert Breer. How is it? This is Tebow mania. Here's how you always know. How can Tim Tebow be a 1st round pick and Shedeur Sanders can't? How is Johnny Manziel a 1st round pick with all his baggage and Shedeur ain't? How is Brady Quinn a 1st round pick? How is Zach Wilson a 1st round pick? How is Teddy Bridgewater a 1st round pick? How is Josh Rosen a 1st round pick? Can I keep going? Huh? How is Christian Ponder a 1st round pick? I'm just wondering. Yeah. So when we talk about this is Tebow mania. No, he can't throw the ball like Tebow. Tebow was one of the worst throwers of the football that we done seen. One of the worst throwers of the football we've seen. But I will give some people credit. Ed Greenberg, while Shedeur struggled mightily in the NFL debut today, this throw was more impressive than any throw Dylan Gabriel made all year. And a reason enough for the Browns to start him the rest of the season. And guess what? He's right. He made 2 throws in this football game, coming off the bench, cold, dry, no practice, and he made a throw to Harold Fanning Jr. that was roped in the middle of the field, draped. It was a beautiful ball. He made a throw in the back of the end zone to Gage Laverdane, and guess what? You 2 steps away from that thing being tie football game. Beautiful placement. See, what we're looking for, and what you look for in a franchise quarterback, is a couple of plays each and every game in which you see the signal. Oh, okay. Oh, you got that? Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. Oh, okay. I see you over there, big dog. Oh, you got that in your package too? What? That's all you need is 1 or 2 of them. That's 1 or 2 of them. Here's where I come out. Here's where the thesis statement is. It's time to embrace the moment. See, let me talk to you real quick, Shedeur. Let me talk to you real quick. Older men like myself, once you get to be my age, I just turned 43. Am I 44 yet? I don't know, 43, 44. Yeah, I'm 44. That just goes to show you I don't care nothing about no birthdays. It's all about what I'm living. And I live day to day. Every day the good Lord wake me up, it's my birthday. So I celebrate it like that's just what it's going to be. But when you get to this age, sometimes at night you have dreams. And the only time that I wake up with terror, fear, joy, exhilaration, happiness, sadness, is when I wake up from a dream in which I'm out there competing on that field. See, what nobody will tell you, and it's the reason why football players and athletes have so much depression when they get older. They have so many different things going on in their head in terms of mental health. It's not necessarily CTE all the time. It's the idea that I peaked between 18 and 25. See, when you playing those games when you're younger, I wish I could tell every person. I wish I could tell every single athlete, don't ignore the papers, ignore the news, ignore your family, ignore your girlfriend. And in that moment, every time you get an opportunity to step on that field and step across those white lines or the gym or the court, cherish it and embrace it. Because that is the highest you will ever be in your life. I don't dream, and no disrespect to nobody. Love my wife dearly. I don't dream at night about getting married. I don't dream at night about the new car I got. I don't dream at night about what I'm going to do to add a new deck to my back porch. The only thing I dream about that moves me to tears, that moves my soul, is the competition. The thrill of putting who you are as a man on the line against another person who's a worthy opponent, and you know they put the same amount of work in you did. It's the thrill, the exhilaration of going out, putting all that work in, and then getting the payoff on Saturdays and Sunday. If you go to a high school or college, or you go and you sit on the sidelines and you smell the grass, it gives you chills. The smell of pads in a locker room that's kind of dirty a little bit, it reminds you of running gassers and ladders and stadium stairs and pads and hitting. And it gives you chills, but at the same time, it makes you sick to your stomach because you know how hard it is. Men don't dream about the rest of this material stuff. To be honest, after you 25, it's all downhill. You ain't never gonna get that feeling again, sitting in that office cubicle. You ain't never gonna get the camaraderie that you got. And you got a band of brothers in that locker room, and you talking and laughing and joking, and the halftime speeches and the comeback victories. You don't never get that back. Ever. And then you get to be this age, and you'd give anything in the world to go back for 1 hour. You give anything in the world to go back and link up with your old teammates and put them pads on, or get in that layup line, or be in the batting cage just throwing soft toss to each other. This is almost as primal as hunting. As a man, as an alpha man, as a man that goes out and gets what he wants, and the fierce urgency to know that if I don't go out and hunt and I don't kill, I ain't eating. That's what drives you to greatness. That's what drives you to do what the impossible is to the outside. So today, it is a time for you to embrace the moment, live in it, bask in it, and know that those on the opposite side would like this to be your last opportunity. They would like this to be the last time you see 12. They would like to stop Legendary before Legendary even get off the ground, because they done told you, yeah, you want to be legendary, I'm going to stack this deck. Who cares if you ain't getting no reps? And who cares if you only played 2 games? We said that we decided that you ain't it. But a great thing about sports, and a great thing about people that know, don't nobody give a damn about what them folks think. Your destiny is tied to what you do on that football field. And when you get your opportunity, like any and everybody else in life, you overdo it. You make sure that every single time they say your name, they got it gonna ring out. Every single time that they mention your name, there's a level of respect that got to come over their body. When every time they see you, you remind you, yeah, you was damn wrong about me. I'm going to remind you about it. Not about the way I talk, by the way I walk, by the way I throw touchdowns, by the way I lead my team, by the way I smile at you, even know I knew you was hating. You never wanted that. Your joy and your gift is what got you here. Never let somebody take your joy and put you in a bag and say, what you gonna do now? I'm gonna do this. Because guess what? God gave me something he didn't give you. You can't bottle it up. You can't judge it. You can't take it away. All you can do is spectate and write them articles. My gift is enough. I'm going to show you by the way which you told me how we were supposed to be moving. Now you done put my back against the wall. Now I got to overkill it. Now I got to make it so they can't even put nobody else into this game. You know why? We're not going to play with y'all. We're not going to play with you now. Sometimes God got to set you up to be legendary. Legendary is coming out cooking with no reps. Legendary is having guys catch the football when they usually drop it. Legendary is coming into the game. They keep telling you you're running backwards, but you stepping up in the pocket now, delivering dimes. Legendary is everybody and their mom, except for the only you couple people that's in your family, understanding and respecting and believing. Believe when nobody believed. Ball when nobody thought you was gonna ball. And let me tell you, live for the fierce urgency of the opportunity right now. They're not giving you no more chances. They're not going to give you no second opportunities. They're not going to give you any advantages, any legs up, any fairness. But that's okay. Your gift is enough. When I got into this game, I used to think, I want my own show so bad. My cousin told me this one day. Shout out to my cousin Larry. Do you know how many times? I'm gonna give two shout outs. Bear with me here. I'm just trying to give you a little motivation. I got married the first time, and I bought a house. We had some rental properties, and my ex-wife used to work at corporate America, this job, and we actually, it was crazy. We actually started working at the same place, and her dream was always make it to the executive level. And so usually when you get married, your wife has a big influence on you. I was already working at the radio station. I was already working on the barbershop, and this was way before any of the radio stuff. And I was working on a concept, and I got sidetracked a little bit. Got married. I'm a landlord now. I got, I'm working. I got all these, I eventually got into leadership. I started adding more and more people under my belt in terms of direct reports. And slowly but surely, my focus waned. My passion kind of died off. And one of the things that started to happen was I started focusing more on what somebody else wanted me to do instead of what God was telling me to do and what my dream was. So once I had moved, and me and my brother shared a house together, and I moved and got married and stuff. And, after a certain time, my relationship, my marriage was on the rocks. And my brother came to visit me one day, and he had this box. And I remember one of the first microphones that I ever bought, one of the most expensive pieces of equipment I had was this microphone, this DSLR microphone. It was like a real expensive one. And I remember saving all my money, and I'm so stupid. Like, I didn't know this microphone, I needed to go with a board. It was like a real professional microphone, but it wouldn't work if I didn't have a board. So I was like, oh goodness. So I bought this expensive mic, and I was just so gun-ho on fire. I was following my passion. And My brother came to my house and in his box, he said, "Hey man, I just wanted to give you this box." And he was like, and I opened the box and he's like, "Yeah, man, it's a bunch of stuff that you had left at our old place." And I had already moved for about a year or so. And week after week, day after day, I started doing less and less broadcasting. And I pulled the microphone out. He said, "Hey man, what do you think about, hey man, getting back on the sticks, man? Like, we missing some of them blogs. We missing, you know what I'm saying? Remember you used to do them blogs and you used to come out and you used to do these takes and you let the family listen to them. And at this time, I didn't have no followers. I had no subscribers. I didn't have nothing. I was working a regular job." He said, "Yeah, man, you really should. I'm thinking you should pick it up." And I said, yeah, cool. Yeah. I'm like, "Yeah, but let me tell you about, you know what I'm saying, I'm moving up at work. You know what I'm saying, I got another raise." And when he left, it hit me because he was one of the first people, my brother Bryson, to say, "I think you got a gift. Don't put your gift down. Don't put it down. Keep going." Sooner as that happened, I started thinking, the wheels started turning, and I started getting back into the game. The next part that got me back into the game, as I was going through a divorce and doing all this other stuff, and I eventually got the divorce, and I was really strong into going into it. I got the Barbershop radio show, and I wanted to have my own regular show. Everybody would, you know, I gained one of the biggest followings. I'm like, yo, you know, Cleveland Scene Magazine said it was one of the top 5 radio shows in the city. And I'm like, I'm just a part-time weekend host. And I used to tell me, "Don't you tell me I'm part-time. We're going to make this part-time do it or do. We're going to make it work." But it got to a point where I wanted my own show. I thought I was, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was good. Like, I had persevered. I had put the work in. I had got validation from other markets. And I didn't understand why it was that I couldn't get my own show. Why I could do these numbers and still wasn't given something that I had worked and thought I wanted so much. And so my cousin called me one day, shout out to my cousin Larry, and he said, I just wanted to call you. And he called me out of the blue. My cousin Larry, like me, like, we don't call each other unless something wrong. Let me know in the chat if you got somebody like that. Like, they don't look, if my dad called me or my cousin Larry called me, I know something happened or something up. So I hit him back. He said, "Yo, cuz, G Bush, I don't know why God gave me a word for you, but he said, don't get discouraged and don't be angry at where you at and the success of other people." And I said, whoa. I was sitting there. And I'm like, where did you ever have somebody give you something and it's a confirmation so tough that it hit you in your soul you can't even move? Because it was dead on what I was thinking. And he said, God is preparing you. God preparing you for something. But just know, you count on him and what he gonna give you. Because if he gave that other person over there that, he can give it to you too. But you got to trust, put the work in, and don't do it with a begrudging attitude, and don't do it based on what somebody else is doing and how they moving and how they winning. Because I'm telling you, if you keep the course, he'll give you more than you ever thought you would get. He gave me that word, and it kind of changed my mindset. Completely changed the way I thought about career, thought about my journey, thought about what I wanted to do. And the long story short is, I thought I wanted certain things. I thought I was down and out. I thought I had no shot, no opportunity, and no chance to attain my goals because it seemed like I hit a ceiling. It seemed I hit a plateau. It seemed I hit this invisible force field. But when I tapped in, and he stripped all this stuff away, you know what I was left with? My gift. And I didn't think I would be where I am today talking to y'all folks. Well, I didn't think I was going to be there. But here's the key. The setup is always greater than the come up, because the come up is only as good as the setup. There's a reason G. Bush rings out, because people know what I went through. People know nobody didn't give me nothing. People know that I've been doing this for years. Nobody gave me a show. I made one, and the people respected it. Nobody gave me no opportunities. I was 30 before I got into this game. I couldn't even feed myself. I wanted it so bad that I chose to buy equipment rather than eat. I chose gas money to drive hours over hanging out with my friends. And so when you see G. Bush, and when you see G. Bush do anything, win an Emmy, be on a magazine cover, they know I started from zero, nothing. And I still had nothing a couple of years ago. Your journey, it don't happen. No one sees the feet steps. They just see the come up. But the setup is what you got. So guess what? Touche. I like the energy. You want me to play well in one game? Well, here you go. You want me to kill it in one game? Here you go. You want me to come out and prove everybody this, that, and third in one game? Well, here it is. Because now, the only thing I'm asking for is the opportunity. It's given. Now let's go attack. Let's go win. Let's go motivate. And I want to see what you're talking about come 8 o'clock on Sunday. That's the competition I like. That's the energy I'm on. Let's see who right or wrong. Because I feel like I'm going to be right. I'm going to bet on what I know I've been through. That is how you embrace the moment. And you let them write whatever they're going to write on the other side of the break. But in terms of what I'm looking for, y'all want to see legendary? Y'all want to see me ball out? Well, here it goes. This leads me to this. I was in college. And when I got out of college, I was a financial advisor. And they used to have us walking door to door. If you're in sales, we was selling life insurance. We was doing bonds and we was knocking door to door. Knocking door to door. And they give you a glorified phone book, basically a phone book, and they call people and you cold call. We'd have to have cold calling scripts where you should have to do something where people wouldn't even know what you really wanted, but your job was set up meetings. You'd be like, ring, 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 ring. Hello, can I speak to John Robinson? This is him. Hey, John, this is Garrett from New England Financial. I hope you're doing well today. What I want to do is reach out to you, let you know some of the great things we're doing at New England Financial. You've been referred to us by a colleague of yours, and he's found that we've done great business together and thought it would be mutually beneficial if we linked up to talk about some things that could be beneficial to you. Which day does it work? Afternoon or weekend? And he like, huh? Well, what is it did you want? And so you telling people, show people up to be like, yeah, let me give you some life insurance, right? And so they would put us through these training classes, and it's always stuck with me. How do you focus on negativity? How do you focus and literally lean in to what you're doing when everything around you is going to hell in a handbasket? How do you focus? Michael Smith, that's the coldest of calls. Bro, when you got to call somebody out the phone book, you be like, you want some life insurance? If you die today, how much money did your wife got? Can she pay her bills? That's crazy work. But them dudes is good. Some of the best. Got that cold calling script be crazy. You don't even know what you signing up for. You just know that you meeting some dude for coffee from a place you don't even know. But what they put us through school, and they put us through these training classes, and they gave us these little encouragements, these slogans, these different things, because what they don't tell you is that you're in a business where less than 5 to 10% of the people even make it. You're in a business where you got to be turning out so much volume that you get delayed consequences and delayed results. Meaning that for every appointment you set, you're just trying to turn a small portion of those two people into sales. If you set 30 appointments, understand that 15 of them going to only meet with you. Out of those 15 that meet with you, you might get 7 or 8 that may be half interested in continuing the conversation. Out of that 7 or 8, you may get 3 to say they're negotiating and thinking about it, and you might get 2 people to actually go through with something. Both of them ain't going to be no huge sales. So you got to do all that work to get 2 sales out of 30 appointments. And you might have to make 200-300 calls to get 30 appointments. So what they do is they teach you how to handle the rejection, right? Because humans are not wired to get constant rejection. We just aren't. It's bad for your mental health. That's why losing sucks and people don't tank. It's hard for humans to hear no and hang up. Oh, no, don't call me. Please don't put me on a do not call list. Stop that. And so we sat in the class and they doing training, and he says, listen, guys, some will, some won't. So what? You're like, what's that mean? Some people will meet with you. Some people might decide to do anything, might decide to buy something. Some people won't. Some people won't want to hear from you. Some people won't want to care about what you're doing. Some people don't want nothing to do with what you got. But so what? See, it's not about what the last person said. It's about the next call. It's about the next throw. It's about the next opportunity. And that is the key to what Shedeur Sanders should be doing. Some will, some won't, so what? Some people are going to like you after game 1 if you play well. Some won't. Some people will like you after game 2 and move the goalposts. So what? Some people going to flip-flop and jump all the way on the bandwagon if you ball out. So what? Some people going to have something to say about where you played and why. So what? Because it's a metaphor by the way you have to play the game of football. Sometimes in a game, you're going to make a play. Sometimes in a game, you're going to have a bad play. But the next play is the most important play. So what? Yeah, I threw a touchdown. So what? Let's go throw another one. Yeah, I got sacked. So what? Let's get back up and make sure that I don't do that again. Yeah, okay. Oh, we went 3 and out. Okay, so what? Every time I get back on the field, I'm feeling that we're not going to go 3 and out, that we're going to have an 8-10 play scoring drive. Some will, some won't. So what? Financial planner with Waddell and Reed. Throw that back up there again, if you would. Rose Bush. It's straight grind mode. Financial planner with Waddell and Reed. Same sales protocol, grinding. And so as we get to talking about the keys to victory and what Shedeur Sanders needs to do, that's the mentality. The mentality is your financial planning mentality. See, when you're a financial planner, you got to have a mix. And when you start off, you're not vested, so you might just be setting appointments for the senior level partners to pitch certain things. You know why? Senior level partners They got the experience. They got the pitch down. They got the technical expertise to kind of, ease some of the, ease some of the questions and the objections, because you're asking people sight unseen to give you their hard-earned life savings and invest it. You asking them to believe in you that if my wife or husband die, I am going to be the beneficiary and the insurance company will pay the death benefit. So the difference between a yes and no is how comfortable they are with you. The difference between a yes and a no sale and a sale is the comfortability and your mentality. So sometimes, a person don't have enough money to do investments. You're like, bro, I'm living check to check, but I do want to make sure that if something happened, that I got this. If you do property and casualty, hey, listen, I know I got a business. We ain't even breaking even yet, but I do know that if something happens and I lose all my equipment in the fire, that I need something, right? I need something as a backup. I ain't got this. I ain't got that much to invest, but I got this, this, and this. So what you got to do is you have to have a mix, a portfolio that's mixed. And it's the same as a quarterback. You got to have a portfolio during that game. You got to, okay, it's 3rd and 4. Let me check that down and give my boy an opportunity to scramble and get the little 4 yards. You know what? I see a shot play. You're a financial advisor. What we know about whale hunting? What you know about whale hunting? Oh man, I got a referral from a golf buddy. He doing 4 or 5 million in sales. Loaded, smart guy, button up, investor, not squeamish. So now that's a what? That's a whale. To get you a whale, you got to be all the way buttoned up. You got to be able to talk the talk, walk the walk, and have a team with you, because he see right through that. That's the same thing when you're dealing with a defense. Huh? When you're dealing with the defense and you see a shot play, that's the big whale. Sometimes you gotta go for it. But understanding when you go for a shot play, it's different from the dink and dunk. It's different. You can't do shot plays all the day. You can't go after whale after whale after whale if you're trying to be in the financial game, if you're trying to be a businessman. Sometimes you need to do the life insurance policies. Sometimes you need to roll over a 401k. Sometimes you need to tell them about a little annuity, a CD, right? A money market. Sometimes they just want to see if they're aggressive enough at work. Is my 401k working for me? Do I need to ratchet it up, the aggressiveness? Because I want to live this way and I want to retire at this age. Am I doing what I need to do to get there? Sometimes those are the deals you're going to make. But it's a mix. And it's all about timing. Take your shot plays early. But if it's early in the game, you don't got to be out here taking shot plays crazy. You don't need to be running around here trying to scramble and run backwards and figure out where the ball need to be going. Nah, understand where your off ramps are. Understands where your layups is. Understand that you got a savvy investor. Don't oversell a savvy investor. Just give him the option and let him pick and he'll go run with it. See, I'm talking that financial game right now. A lot of y'all cats y'all thought I was going to preach today. We came with that financial jargon today. Understand what's an easy place to put some money that's safe. Hey, go ahead, David and Njoku. Let him block with Max Crosby real quick. Block it up. And then release out in the flat and hit him. Let them corners tackle him. Huh? Let him do the heavy work. Let's set this screen game up. I got Juckins. Let me use your aggressiveness against you. You want to run up? Because I know y'all seen the tape last week. I know y'all think I can't do nothing with the blitz. Well, I'm going to invite the blitz. Oh, here it goes right over your head, behind you. And now, because you're in man-to-man coverage, You miss one tackle, that's 6. See, I ain't got to throw the ball 60 yards in the air to get a 60-yard touchdown. I might throw a 7-yard pass that go for 53 yards after catch, touchdown. It all worked. But as a financial planner, the most important thing to do is understand what your client needs and where he is at in life. And right now, for the Cleveland Browns, where are they in life? Well, the Cleveland Browns is rocking and rolling on defense. Myles Garrett getting sacked after sack after sack after sack after sack. Carson Schwarzenegger looked like he a cold player. Carson Schwarzenegger looked like he cold. And it seamlessly leads me into 3 keys to victory. If we keep up with the financial theme, keys to victory. Where's your client at? Is your client reaching the age of 60? They winding down their career. They're trying to get to a point where they can solidify that nest egg. They getting ready for retirement. If so, why are you sitting up here offering them these penny stocks? Why is his mutual fund mix so aggressive? Why are you taking extra risk on these risky vehicles, these risky stocks, these risky investments, and these folks about to retire? The riskiness should have been last 10 years ago when they was at their highest peak potential. So what do? My job is to protect your asset. Let's talk a little bit about long-term care. You do know if one of y'all gets sick, they got the opportunity to wipe out your whole nest egg, right? Let one of y'all be in the hospital for a sustained period of time. That little money you got gonna evaporate. Let me know if you've been with somebody or know somebody that needed long-term care. I used to go to the hospitals, hospital bed to hospital bed, administering Medicaid, Medicare at hospitals for people who had cancer, for people who had long-term, late end-of-life treatment. And let me tell you, you sit up in them rooms with them folks, and the wife got the look on her face like, I don't know how we paying for this. So my thing is, understand where you at in the game, what you prescribing. If you about to retire, I'm not about to sit up here and give you no crazy stuff. What I'm trying to do is maximize your ability to live a certain lifestyle and live comfortably on the way out. So what I'm going to do is be safe with it. I ain't risking it all. Same thing with the Browns. You got veterans over there. Myles Garrett getting sacks. Carson Schwarzenegger is doing his thing. Grant Delpit is playing well. Tyson Campbell, Devin Bush is having a year. And they over there playing against Geno Smith, who done thrown the most interceptions in the world right now. Tied for first in the league. So if you Shedeur Sanders, be a good financial planner. Lean on your mature defense. You ain't got to get risky in certain situations. For what? All you got to do is just be better than that quarterback. And sometimes being better than that quarterback is saying, oh, you threw an interception and I didn't. You took this sack over here and I didn't. I threw the ball away. I got us in the right play to run the ball and get 4 or 5 yards and move the change. You didn't. Understand the management. Being a quarterback is managing the portfolio, managing risk, managing opportunity. That's the way you have to think about the game. In each quarter of life, you got a different financial strategy. Each quarter of the game, you got a different strategy as how you manage the game. What do I need here? Do I need to run with my legs? Do I need to extend the play? Do I need to dump it down? How do I need to manage this so that at the end of the game, I'm at a position where we win? Second thing, we talk about the financial planning aspect. Second thing that you need to understand to do, be special when the time calls for it. One of the things that's going to set you apart, one of the things that you want to look at is you want to be able to look in the landscape. You want to see the totality of it. And you want to think and you want to anticipate where certain things might be that you want your client to be aware of. First thing they always ask people, do you guys plan on having children within the next year or so? Do you have a important addition to your home in the future? Are you planning on retiring early? Are you in a position where you're making this amount of money? Are you worried about tax liability if you're self-employed? All these things are major things that happen in your life that you need to plan for that cost extra money or needs to change what your strategy is long term. So if you are Shedeur Sanders and you're thinking, all right, it's second quarter, we up 7-0, and it's a backside over there. I know they showing blitz. I got Jerry Jeudy over there. Let me give Jerry a 50-50 ball. Because I think if we can hit this big time play, if I think we can get a play over the top or get a pass interference call, and we get these dudes down 14, they 2-8. They might quit. They might fold up. So you take an advantage. You take the risk because you understand at a point that you are right now that you feel like it's an opportunity to make you some money. It's a little risky, but think about the risk reward. What's the worst can happen? I either throw it out of bounds, it's a pass interference, and I know Jerry Jeudy ain't gonna let him intercept it. So let's take the shot. See what I'm saying? You're still taking the risk, but you also are mitigating some of the risk because you understand the time of the day it is. You understand what type of time you on. So take the shot, live to fight another day. And if you take that shot now, it opens up other things later on. So that's number 2. Understand when to take the risk, understand what time you are. And we always talk about understand the life cycle where you at and what you need to play towards in order for you to be successful. And then number one thing in order for him to be successful coming into this football game is this. Leave it out there. Every day you wake up and you go to sleep, it's a blessing. And when you out here knocking on doors, life is all about delayed consequences and delayed actions and delayed consequences and delayed success. So if I got to make all these cold calls to set up these appointments, it's easy to hear that rejection and say, man, I ain't even getting paid for this. I'm on 80% commission. Man, I'm taking this afternoon off. I'm going to go get me something to eat and pack it in. And I'm going to go play golf this afternoon. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to get out the office on Friday. It's hard to sit there and knock on doors, and it's beautiful and it's sunny, and everybody else is making money. Everybody else is, I'm out of the office. I got my bag. You might not notice it today. You might not notice it tomorrow. But the fact that you didn't make no calls today is going to affect the fact that you ain't got nothing in the pipeline tomorrow. Zero. Nothing. It's about delayed successes and delayed failure. The throws that you make today in the first quarter is setting you up for throws that you can make and you may throw in the fourth quarter. Sometimes you may show a little something in the first quarter and you log it away and say, yeah, I wanted to see how this corner over here reacted. I wanted to see how that backside linebacker reacted to that. Let me see if when I carry out this fake, when I fake the bootleg and come on back this way, when I fake the boot and give you and come back this way, I want to see how you react. Because you could get that off in the first quarter, but that's delayed consequences. So if you tackle Quinshon Judkins because you fast read and run and you sitting on the run, now I got you in the fourth quarter. Because now instead of doing that, I'm pulling and I'm booting. We ride open in the flats. Delayed failures and delayed success. So what you do in the first quarter is a setup for how you move in the fourth quarter. They both go together. They both go together. It's layers to it. So what you do now, always have a plan that it is set up for something else. Nothing is left to chance. Nothing ain't, hey, I just did that. No. The great quarterbacks think the game at a different level. They watching the safety and his tendencies. They watching the backside defensive end. They watching how the cornerback tips to play a little bit if he's in man or zone. But just because he tackled you right now, and it may be a negative play or a play that don't go for much, always remember, log that away and be willing to come back and say, oh, remember what I told you? You wasn't making them cold calls on Friday. When you go to that sales meeting Monday morning and they ask you how many sales you had last week, you best believe they're going to pull up. See, Bush, you was out the office, though, on Friday. How many calls you make Friday, big dog? And I got like 20. They're like, look, Paul over there got 100 calls. Paul did 100 calls. Ended up with 20 meetings. Out of them 20 meetings, guess what he had? 5 people that signed up for something that he didn't even think was going to sign up. You made 20 calls, set one appointment, and that appointment canceled. Delayed consequences, delayed success. That's what life is about. And the goal is to manage it from game to game, down to down. But for you, you only get one shot. And that's the way it is in financial planning. Most people don't make it. Most people aren't franchise quarterbacks. Most people don't get a long runway of a year. They probably give you 3 months to hit that sales quota. Then they got to start talking about, I have to look for something else. I have to move along. You ain't got no more money. You ain't got nothing in the pipeline to even sustain yourself. So always remember, yeah, the goal is hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's tough. But if you got a strategic way that you go about it, you can put yourself in a position to A, win the football game, B, minimize your mistakes, and C, still make enough big plays that people will say, I need to see him again next week. And like in financial planning, most of your money comes from people who are repeat customers. People who you did well by the first time, and now they say, I got me a guy. I don't mess with no financial planners. I mess with G. Bush. You know why? He steered me straight. He made sure I was good. His communication is what it was. So now I might only have life insurance, but guess what? When I have my child or I start my family, I'm going to him to get some coverage on my daughter. When I build that house, when I add another wing, I'm going right back to G. Bush because G. Bush got me together with my property and casualty, right? When I am turning a profit, when I'm turning that profit and I do get my business off the ground and I got a little something to invest, I need my kids to go to school. G. Bush, where can I put this at? It's the repeat customers that give you the most money and the most way to sustain your business. So just like them, to earn repeat customers, to earn them big dollars, you got to do right by them on the small stuff. And the small stuff is Las Vegas. You get that done, we might be able to talk about doing another deal. That's against the 49ers. I know it wasn't what you was expecting, but we already to the super chats. we already cooking. I told you it was a little something different. I told you what we was doing today. Let's get to it. Let me get this banner down. Sapper Daddy 1397. Thank you so much for the super chat. I haven't been this hyped since my first high school playoff game. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I woke up and this was the most excited I've been in a while. I think the thing that I would compare it to, even the Deshaun Watson era wasn't crazy like that. Because the Deshaun Watson era, like it started off with 11-game suspension. So it was already kind of faulty a little bit. But the closest thing I could think of, we talked about this on UCSS, was making sure that we kind of put this in context, because when Baker came in for Tyrod Taylor on like Thursday night game, and Baker was the backup quarterback. And when he came in the game, they went down the field, boom, 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 made a crazy seam throw to Jarvis Landry. They had the Philly special. And the Browns hadn't won in so long. We was 1-31 that everybody was euphoric, because we were so anemic offensively that what we saw, we was like, bro, this is crazy. Baker later on would go to win. I think he broke the rookie record for touchdowns that year. And so there was a crazy excitement level for Baker Mayfield after he played the Jets. Ironic part about it, his first full game that he played was against the Raiders. They actually lost that game. Him and Nick Chubb played well in that game, and they lost the game. Now, it's ironic because, again, Shedeur Sanders came in for Dylan Gabriel after an injury, just like Baker came in for Tyrod Taylor. Then the next game, the first full start, was actually against the Raiders. So it's a little bit of foreshadowing, a little bit, and it does give you a feeling of, let's see what it is, because there was times in that game where I think everybody on that last drive was feeling like, oh, we got a chance. You know, especially that ball in the end zone. Like, people thought he caught that. So there's that energy level, and I think people are tuning in everywhere to see it, because, and I think this was makes it so highly anticipated, is the fact that people on the opposite end of the spectrum who may not think Shedeur is good, or you know, not even, you know, they think he's all hype. They've already set the bar to a point where it's like, if he don't play well next week, he's just done. So that heightens it even more, because now, more than anything, if he comes out and he plays well, I don't want to hear nobody sitting here talking about nothing about, we always knew. No, you didn't. You didn't always know nothing. You told him after 2 quarters you weren't ready to go, but Dylan Gabriel get 75 quarters. But that's just the way it comes when you come with that level of brand name recognition and cachet. Human nature is to always say, you're not that good. Resurrect minds. Hood and sheet word 12 want to fail. You know, it's so crazy. You know, some of the people that's quote unquote Cleveland Browns fans, they be in their bag sometimes. And they be like, I'm a Browns fan. We all want them to see. Come on, bro. Let's keep it real. Like, we've been doing this a long time. Like, I laugh and joke about this. Myles Garrett, we had people writing articles about Myles Garrett's leadership, and this dude is the greatest defensive end, the greatest player, almost the greatest player in history, and still what he's doing. And even when Myles Garrett is doing what he's doing, we still got people running around here talking about the runway don't line up. Let's trade him for some picks. Man, I can't stand you fantasy football type dudes. It's the worst thing that ever happened to fandom in my life. Is the fact that everybody is an armchair general manager. You don't trade no just generational transformation type player like Miles Garrett, because you feel like you and your buddies do good in fantasy football league, and we could get these assets and these number ones. Boy, if you don't shut up, just let me know you ain't never played football by just saying stupid stuff like that. And if they don't like Miles Garrett, and they didn't like Odell Beckham Jr., and they didn't like Shedeur Sanders, who do you like? Who's good? I'll be confused. Sapper Daddy says, King Carmen is a turncoat. He was all I want to see is 12 to this past week. Now he's scared. What if you scared? Go to church. We here now. That's the great part about it. That's the beautiful thing about it. If you scared, go find a deacon. That's how you know who played and who didn't. It's crazy because it almost feels like I'm going to play. The true competitors is always ready. It's like Goku. Goku's so stupid. All he wants is a good fight. You be watching Dragon Ball Z, and Goku be like, man, Frieza, you're strong. Hey, Cell, I really want to test my strength against yours. Oh, the world, the tournament, Universe Power Tournament. Oh my goodness, Jiren, you're so strong. I know you've been beating me up for 5 episodes, but it's the thrill of the fight. Testing my Saiyan nature. You're like, Goku, I'm gonna need you to lock in, bro. This ain't just about your fight, bro. These dudes trying to destroy the whole universe. If you die, everybody died. What are you talking about? Get your mind together. He in here so naive. He's such a competitor. All he want to do is see how strong the dude is. There's some strong guys over here. Let me test myself. But that's different. That's a warrior race. All they care about is fighting. That's what athletes do. That's what former athletes do. We want the challenge. You can tell who ain't never had the challenge, who don't like the challenge. That's why it ain't built for everybody. Everybody can't play football. Fortunately, there's a lot of people who can talk about it, but everybody ain't built for that. Joint JDMBA. If Albert Breer is correct in his reporting the Browns wanted to redshirt Shedeur, doesn't that not suggest they think of him as a potential long-term solution? You just brought up a point. Dang, you brought up a point. What if, let me ask you something. What if they felt like he was getting redshirted? What if the evaluation is he's been in our system, he's been here, we looked at his film, we've looked at the film of the other guys that's in his draft, and these guys aren't better than him. So we're going to play him and develop him, and he's going to be here all off season. And then we start him next year. That's not off the table. Because if you wanted to redshirt somebody, why would you draft somebody and redshirt them? You would just not pick them, right? Especially if Andrew Berry says, I'm still here, which these young dudes keep playing well, that may happen. So you bring up a great point. The notion that there's a foregone conclusion that he gets one game and he's done, that flies in the notion of redshirting somebody. That's a great comment. Y'all let me know if y'all agree. Because I haven't, like that, I didn't come up with that angle. That is a heck of an assessment. Greg Castellano says G. Bush, Kevin Stefanski is on record saying Dylan Gabriel is a starting quarterback, whether Shedeur balls out or not. It's a disservice to our fan base. Let me tell you about this, Greg. Don't be listening to that. I'm going to tell you why. The whole world is watching. If Shedeur Sanders plays poorly, could they go back to Dylan Gabriel and probably will go back to him? Sure. But there's no scenario in this world that if he goes out here and plays well and the Browns win, that he's going to be back on the bench. It just won't happen. Because you can say Kevin all you want. Kevin ain't in control. The owner's in control. And the entire universe is watching this game. You think he can go out here and play on a 4:30 game in Vegas where every television is glued to this game and he can play well and everybody throwing that wrist up and Kevin's going to come back and say, nah, we're going back to Dylan. Stop. It won't happen. I don't care what Kevin say. Same way he wasn't giving a play call until he did. Eric W. 23 in Atlanta. Thank you, G. Bush. We appreciate your work. No, I appreciate you pulling up on me. It's going to be a movie tomorrow. Smart. By the way, let me tell y'all about something. Tomorrow, we got something special planned. Make sure you tune in to UCSS, 4 o'clock. The big dog, big homie, G. Bush, Earl to Pearl, Mikey McNuggets. We will be doing the first UCSS watch party live. You want to watch the game? Come watch the game with us. We're going to be going live during the game for the entirety of the game. You're going to get the raw emotions from touchdowns, sacks, Myles Garrett balling out, Shedeur Sanders throwing touchdowns. You get an opportunity to watch it live. Make a plan. Watch it live with us. You watch the game, we watch the game. You get our instant reaction. And then afterwards, we give you the post game. It's going to be a movie. Pull up, 4 o'clock. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to leave the studio, and I'm coming back, and we're going to get to the barbershop, too. So I got to save my voice today. I can't be doing too much because tomorrow I'm talking for 3 hours, and we're going to get right back to it. So make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're liking. 4 o'clock UCSS. You see it on here. Make sure you're pulling up. This is the first one we're doing, and we're going to go live and do a watch party and the post game. You know how we give it up over here. Media said that Lamar couldn't be an NFL quarterback, a Heisman winner, but Josh Allen wasn't picked in the top 100. Didn't win anything. We know what it is. MG23 Raptor. Thank you so much for the super chat. There'll be stereotypes going into the situation. We've highlighted this on the channel all the time. There's this notion, and it's been a stigma like with Warren Moon, that people still have this thing where black quarterbacks can't read defenses. They don't know what they're looking at, or they're not putting the work in, or they're a little cognitively slower to pick up things. I didn't say that. Warren Moon said it. Randall Cunningham said it. Mike Vick said it. It is what it is. If you're mad at that, it's more mad at yourself. You look, that's where we come from with it. That's why I push back on certain things, and that's why we do film review here. Unlike a lot of people, we do film review. So when I say something, you saw it just like I saw it. So now when people want to say certain things, they just got to look stupid. You're like, nah, that's not true. Nah, that's false. No, that's another talking point. You know why? Because we watched it over here on Wednesday. If you want to be a part of that, hit that join button. Me and Tyvers break it down every Wednesday. And you're going to want to do that to this Wednesday. Because he's playing this week. You think it's going to be some polarization going on the way he played? Trust me. You want that film review, members only film review, hit that join button. We keep the link in the comments in the chat section. Let's keep it moving. Thomas, we appreciate you. Don't look up. Day over 42, G. Told you, Rosie. Black don't crack. DJ Short Stack 2563. Here's the thought. Shedeur is number 12. Make his first start in week 12. Was picked 144. That's 12 times 12 equals 144. Perfect timing. Let's effing go. I like that numerology you picked. I like that. Tanya. The plan was to bury him, make him go away. They went hard, and then he rose. Let's go. You did all of that? They did all that talking just for him to be starting by week 12. You did all of that just for you to be right where you was going to be at today. Royce, Shedeur will be spinning it tomorrow. I hope the receivers will be fighting to catch the ball when it's thrown their way. The deck is stacked against Shedeur. Let me tell you something. All you need is a couple. Let me find 2 soldiers that want to roll. Let me find 2 linemen, a couple of linemen that want to block. You know you got some dogs on the other end. We ain't worried about the defense. Defense going to give you the ball back. Find you 2 guys on offense that you want to roll with. Get Jerry Jeudy off early and often. The thing about wide receivers that's number 1 receivers, get them the football. Let them touch the football early. Understand before the game. I go to Jerry Jeudy. Hey, big bro. Hey, big bro. I already know what it is this year. You know what I'm saying? Cats is down on you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been getting targets like that. Let me let you know. You my number 1 receiver. Same 50-50 balls that Justin Jefferson and Chase is getting. You getting them. You in that same category. You in that same. Come on, man. We know who you is. Be ready though. Be ready. You run that route. Be ready to. I'm putting the ball on you. If I get pressure, I'm looking your way. That's going to turn his mindset state all the way around. Because now you letting them know, I want to turn you into an ally. I want to turn you into an advocate. I want to turn you into somebody that's going to put that next level effort. And the reason I know he can do it is because on the 3rd down, where he threw them ball and shook 3 or 4 Ravens to get that first down, that's the energy you need. But the thing I like what Hanford Dixon said, he said Shedeur is a natural leader. And natural leaders inspire others, and they lead from the front. I always give the lesson about Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great wasn't just great because he was a tactician, or he had the biggest army, or he was the wisest person. He was the greatest motivator in the history of generals, in the history of warfare. Alexander the Great understood the psychological boost that it gave to see a person with everything to lose be on the front lines with infantry, front lines with the bannermen, front lines with the rookie. No generals. He could have sat back in the back on his white horse and played Scrabble and said, I'm going to send my generals here. I'm going to send my people here. He all in the tent eating grapes, surrounded by fine women. No, Alexander the Great was in the front, in the trenches with that armor on. People used to fight so fiercely because they knew that person had went through what they was doing, ate what they ate, slept where they slept, lived where they lived. He made sure people was done right. He made sure that people had the weapons and their families was taken care of. So you like, we don't know when they're going to see them no more. He said, don't even worry about it. You're going to have all the treasure you want. But I ain't going back nowhere. I'm right on these front lines. And so when Shedeur could come out there and inspire and let them know, hey, bro, this is a new day. This is how we cooking right now. Do something. Let him get some early success. I guarantee the team has a different energy. RMAC Dog G, I agree. Sanders has to go out there and do it. He can't float backwards, take 10-plus yard sacks, or throw interceptions. He has to stay on time, take what the defense is giving him, 2 touchdowns, 200 yards. I think his dad probably told him that too. I went back and watched some of Coach Prime coaching Shedeur in his high school. He used to be on Shedeur. Tough. He used to be on this dude a lot. And I think when they say, did you talk to your dad? You know you talk to your dad. And Prime told him, take what they give you. Pick your points. Pick your spots. It ain't no good for you to be running around trying to extend plays early in a football game. Because you know why? If they get the leader, in my Alexander the Great analogy, if they kill Alexander the Great on the front lines, the army dies. So Alexander the Great need to be on the front lines, but he also has to understand, I can't be out here diving headfirst into melees. I need to be up there and I need to manage the front. I need to manage my rations. I need to manage my manpower. And I also need to live to fight another battle. So I can't get stupid either. That's the tightrope you walk as a quarterback. J-Mac, 21, 28, 262 touchdowns, 1 rushing TD. Cleveland wins 28-14, double wrist up. And he do that. He do that. You can tell me nothing. We'll take that all day and twice on Sunday. Kevin Bush, thank you so much for becoming a member, man. We appreciate you joining the family. We appreciate that. Tina Johnson, thank you so much for the super chat. That chick, I don't even want to say her name. The other day on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, she said she's a straight hater of Shedeur. Thank you for being honest. You know me, I don't look. I always told people, you know what type of time I'm on right now? My time is like this. I'm not out here giving, here's what I'm saying. I'm standing on what I'm doing. And the great thing about it is, the best thing about it is, if once this game is out there, it don't matter what you talking about, what I'm talking about. All you got to do is respect the stuff he put on film. And now we are to the point where where it counts. All the competition noise, all the noise about is he ready, not ready, boo, boo, boom, boo, whatever it is, he has an opportunity to go out there and silence people. And then you let those people say what they're going to say. You explain it then. Because it's hard to be ready in 1 week. We already know it's we know it's unfair. We know that, right? But the people that's competitors that been asking for the opportunity, they like, bring it on. Let's get it. Let's cook. Ready or not, here I come. Larry Fournier, thank you. I appreciate you, Larry, for becoming a member. Thank you, and we're welcome to the family. Staying sold, the quarterback converting on third downs will be refreshing. That's going to be key. You know, the key to that is converting on third down is about staying out of manageable down, staying out of 3rd and 8. It also, the 2nd and 4s, the most 2nd and 4s you can get, 2nd and 5, that's how you have success. And another thing that we got to get to and tell Shedeur this is, if you want to take a sack and it's a 3-yard sack by stepping up in the pocket, and you do that on second down, you still give yourself an opportunity to be able to convert a third down if it's 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 9. But if you take the 10-yard sack and now it's 2nd and 19, you're done. You're punting. That's another thing about managing the game, is managing the field position game. And sometimes you have to manage that in your head, and you have to do that. It's not up to the coach to do that. You have to be cognizant of where you are in the down and distance so that you give yourself an opportunity to be successful on third down. Sweetie 30, can they just use an extra O-line instead of a running back on the side of 12 to provide extra protection? That way he doesn't get mega blitz. Just wondering. Yeah, they could do things like keep tight ends in. If it was me, I would never have Max Crosby not be double teamed. I would keep a tight end on the side. He could put a running back there. You can even put a tight end in the backfield, right? You could put a tight end in the backfield over a running back, because then a tight end should be a better blocker, and that tight end can release. If it was me, I would put Harold Fanning Jr. In the backfield, and he can run routes from that position, and he could block. I also would keep David Njoku on the same size as Max Crosby the whole time to make sure that he don't wreck the game. So, yes, there are some things they can do. Excuse me. I also think that you can run some stuff to max protect and take some shot plays downfield where you got everybody in and take a couple shot plays. So you are astute in that and trying to figure out a way to mitigate the blitz. Interested to see what Tommy Reese comes up with that. Keisha, black women go so hard for Shedeur because they know how it feels to have to fight harder to prove you are just as qualified. Any excuse will do. Squabble up, Shedeur. There you go. Squabble up. By the way, shout out to Kendrick Lamar. Sometimes that's definitely going to be in life. You got to work twice as hard. You got to be twice as good. You got to be twice as buttoned up, because you're not going to get the same level of opportunity. So embrace that challenge. Let's get it. Embrace that challenge. Lord of the Drip. I bet the Raiders are about to give their best to the Browns. Geno and Crosby have a good relationship with Shedeur. They just got embarrassed by the Cowboys. But pressure makes diamonds. Shedeur will shine. Oh, this is gonna be almost a nationally televised game because it's a 4:00 window. And it's going to almost be a prime time game. They're going to play hard. Like, it ain't going. That's why I'm not even talking about, oh, they're terrible, they should have been playing. I ain't buying into none of that. We just lost to the doggone Jets out of a bye week. I'm taking anything we get. G. Bush got already written 12 story, persecution, resilience, to eventually Super Bowl champ. His story started his draft, playing out in real time. He's built for the moment. Y'all gonna be glued in. And I do agree. My story, your story, everybody's story is written, right? It's just playing out in real time. But the lesson is, how do you go through those things when it's uncertain? And today, it's a lot of uncertainty whether you're going to play or not. But the great thing about it is, on Sunday night, it's going to be fun. Sunday night going to be fun. Joshua Ross, proud of you, family. Straight fire today. The young bull is ready for the moment, and those who also got it out of the mud can see that. Always have a great Thanksgiving. Mike and Beverly Bush's nephew. What's up, man? Hey, man, I appreciate you. Shout out to my Aunt Beverly, my Uncle Michael. Shout out to them, man. You know what I'm saying? I always tell them, you know what I'm saying, my Uncle Michael, you know, they own the Barbershop. Shout out to Priority Hair Care. You know what I'm saying? I always be talking about this barbershop talk. I said, man, this is where I was doing my first barbershop shows then. Back then, that was the hub. You had to, if you was trying to get a haircut, you had to be in there at 4 a.m. They got dudes in there, old school dudes in there, 4 o'clock, dressed up, suited up. I'm like, dang, bro, how you got How did the old players, old cats in there, shoed up, hard soles, hats? I'm like, you just got a cut last week. But that barbershop talk was legendary, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to my cousin Monty. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? On the Bush side of the family. You see. Doggy Bone. The red shirt felt like a cop-out. How we just hearing this literally came out before the start. It seems the narrative of why if he balls out. Easy excuse for a fifth rounder to be buried on the depth chart. You know that. I told y'all this, right? Peterlin actually started this. Peterlin said, look, I do not want to hear that y'all try to develop this man and you get somehow credit for it when at every turn you said, we're not giving him no reps and we're not going to play him. Now if he balls out, you want me to somehow be like, you know what? Kevin Stefanski, he had the ultimate master plan. It actually wasn't even sabotage. Stop. Come on. That's why I call hedging your bet to the nth degree. He developed him, but at the same time, before he even played, you said, I would have went to Dylan Gabriel if he was healthy. Stop. You can't have it both ways. Which is it? Uncle Kai, the game will be an international broadcast tomorrow. If you know, you know. You know what I mean? See you aunties and uncles around the world going to be watching that? It's going to be crazy. Box office. G-Bush, Simply Stephanie said, G-Bush, is it true he's not playing with the first team? Oh, no, he's playing with all the first team right now. He got all the first team. He getting the whole game plan put around him. So he locked and loaded. He was a drop away from having a team scout lineman and wide receivers. Ronnie on the sticks, man. That's funny. You're right. Like, that's funny what he said about the Hungry Dogs. He's like, hey, do you think you have chemistry with Gage Laverdan? And are you going to get him some more targets? He said, I ain't got that juice like that. I'm going to throw whoever out there. I thought that was funny. What's up, cuz? What's up, Greg? If 12 balls out, they will still lose games the rest of the year. Andrew Berry will be safe and Kevin will be gone. Will AB get us a top receiver and offensive line help? He better. Where's Cardinal Tate at? This is why I say any Browns fan that don't want him to be good is not really a Brown. What are y'all doing? If he's good and we can get Cardinal Tate, if we can get Cardinal Tate and 2-3 linemen and maybe another free agent receiver, we might be able to accelerate this. But if he's garbage, he's a 5th round pick, it's going to be funny because anybody you take in the first round as a quarterback, you're going to automatically tell yourself he's good. This is how disingenuous people are. Because they took a quarterback somewhere in the first round, if they do take one next year, they won't watch tape on him. They won't watch him. They'll never see him, but they'll say he was a first-round pick, so therefore it equals he's good. And then everything you said about Shedeur Sanders and why it irked you about holding on to the ball, about not reading defenses, about not understanding and not being ready, you're not going to say the same thing about the new quarterback because they told you he was a first-round quarterback, and then you'll disregard all of that. You'll just say he has to learn. Guys, we don't want to give this guy a chance to succeed. Guys, he doesn't have an offensive line. Guys, he doesn't have a receiver. Guys, I can't believe you guys are trying to run him out of town already. Shedeur Sanders has never gotten that from none of y'all, ever. So, I'm waiting for you to get, because you gave Dylan Gabriel all them same conversations. And he was a 3rd-round pick. So, if he's good, you can actually go out and get somebody. James House, we appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Dom Juan 84, 12 12 times 12 earlier this week. 12, perfect timing. We got the numbers, numerology going up in here. Miss Bell, they added K. Davis at Shedeur Sanders' request, but he's not ready. I hear you, G, but I hate the double standard. 12 has been twice as good for half the benefit, and if he balls out, it's just the Raiders. Oh, you're not gonna hear a rebuttal from me. Are you correct? Of course it is. Are you 1,000% correct? Yes. That's why we started off the show with this. If he's terrible, then more likely than not, he is not. This is the only start he'll get from any team. That's why I be telling y'all. I mean, and they had this energy for Deshaun Watson, but they said we don't like Deshaun Watson because of the allegations. Well, what do you don't like about Shedeur? Because he ain't got none of them allegations. As a matter of fact, everybody thinks he's a good player, a good kid. I be finding it G. Bush, Shedeur gonna have a TCU game tomorrow. Phyllis, if he hit them with that 500, shut up, boy. The barbershop I have 30,000 people in here. Yeah, 30,000 people lining up for a cut. I'm so glad we have you here to bring receipts openly and publicly. After he succeeds, you know they will try to go back to their pre-draft grades. Nish speaking, you listen, of course. Look, it happens. It'll happen like this. I mean, that's how fast it happens. Obviously, you're not going to do that today because you're sitting here thinking, oh, what if he's bad? What if he's bad? What if he's terrible? What if he's bad? I'm gonna have to go back and backtrack if he plays poorly. Think about how much of a triple standard this is. If he plays poorly, Dillon Gabriel is allowed to play poorly 6 whole games. Shedeur Sanders gets to play bad 1 game. And it's already over. Let's ask this. This is cold. Let me ask y'all this. Hit that like button. Man, I forget. When somebody asks you this question, this is irrefutable. If Shedeur Sanders played these games, Shedeur Sanders, 54 grade, 63 grade, 51, 47, 33, 63, 49. If those were his numbers, and he went out with a concussion against the Ravens, and Dillon Gabriel came in the football game, he was named the starter against the Raiders, making his first start. Would any national, local Browns fan, anybody say, if Dillon Gabriel does not play well this game against the Raiders, he'll never play again? Put the 1 in the chat. Put the 1 in the chat if you say, get the heck out of here. Heck no, they wouldn't say nothing like that. Put the 2 in the chat if you say, well, G. Bush, they would probably say the same thing for Dillon Gabriel. Again, and I'm gonna run these down. If these were the numbers that Shedeur Sanders put up in the games he played, and Dillon Gabriel was making his first start against the Raiders, would anybody in the world say Dillon Gabriel gets 1 game to prove what he can do, and if not, he's done? Just a nail in the coffin. Thank you for giving me that word. Let me know. Put the ones in the chat if you say G Bush. You know they would. You know what it is. And if you want to lie about it, go ahead and put the 2. Well, they would do the same thing with Dylan. Yeah. Let me listen. Let me go ahead and let me take this down. Let's look at it. Where we at? Oh yeah. Somebody let me know. This is irrefutable. Feel free to use this on Twitter. Feel free to use this wherever you at. It's the figure 4 leg lock. It tells on people. Oh, that told on people. Oh my goodness, that told on people. Let me get to it. I ain't seen a 2 yet. Somebody give me a 2 anywhere. Where is the 2s at? Where are these 2s at? I'm just need to know where the 2s at. Where's the 2s that say, you know what, G. Bush, if that was Dylan Gabriel, they would tell him the same thing. He better play great. He better ball out tomorrow. He got one night only, or he ain't never playing again in his life. I want 1, 2. I need to see any 2s. I'm just going. Listen, you know what it is. You know what it. I'm looking for the 2s, bro. Oh my goodness. The ones absolutely would not. You know what it is. You know good and well. Let's continue to get to the 2s. Oh, there is no 2s because that you falsified the records. The documents have been falsified. Ain't nobody. It's 1,000% facts. Let's see which one of you non-honest brokers of media is going to tell on yourself. Which one is ready to tell? Huh? Who telling on themselves? Huh? Where the telltale sign? Not one. Not one. I don't got 1, 2. Somebody give me a 2 somewhere. Do the 2s have it? Can we see a 2? I'm gonna just scroll through. Oh, we got 1, 2. Oh, William, you had to be that guy. You had to be that. It's irrefutable. If you swap these pictures out and Shedeur Sanders for these games, 6 of them, was 29th in passing touchdowns. 37th in big time throws. And had a grade of 49. And Dylan Gabriel came into the football game for a half and made his first start against the Raiders. How many, any analyst, any player, any former player, any general manager, any scout, any beat reporter, any journalist, even radio host, any TV person, how many of you would say with these numbers, if this was Shedeur Sanders, you would then turn around and say, Nick Wright believes Shedeur Sanders is facing immense pressure. This would never be said about Dylan Gabriel. Nick Wright believes Dylan Gabriel is facing immense pressure. If he's terrible, then more likely than not, it's the only start he'll get from any team. It would never in a million years happen. I'm waiting for refute it. Put it in the comment section. I'm waiting for you to lie on yourself. It's too close to Sunday to be lying. We all know that they would say Dylan Gabriel, we've seen what Shedeur was. He's hyped up. He's not any good. He's a bust. He doesn't need to be on the squad. He's not worth the squeeze, and we've already seen what Shedeur Sanders was. It is time to give Dylan Gabriel's opportunity for the rest of the season. They wouldn't even need to have him do anything. He would get the rest of the season sight unseen. Period, point blank. Refuted. But since you guys don't get along with the people that support Shedeur, you say, oh, well, he's never going to play again. Boy, if you don't get up out of here with that, cornballs. Yeah. Michael Smith, I'm bringing my G wings to the watch party. I appreciate you. So Kevin just said at 3 press conferences that Dylan will resume starting job once healthy. Like, what if Sanders lights it up? I told you what that means. It has never been about who's better. It's about who you like. They try to make it about who's better, but it's not. Because we just showed you what somebody did for 6 games, and it doesn't matter if he plays bad. I like him. He's going to play. But Kevin, why would he do that? No, he didn't. Stop. But the great thing about life is sometimes that get taken out of your hand, Kevin. I disagree with Sean King. Shedeur through the end zone was a perfect read. It would have been a touchdown if A.J. Brown was catching. The mentality will keep him a quarterback 1. If I was in the film room, he could have thrown both. He could have threw that little out route for 6 yards, but then now the field is condensed a little bit, and now it's more difficult to throw the football. He saw the play. He put the ball on the money. It's a shot play. The dude made a good defensive play. I'll live with it. You live with that. Lawrence, what's up, my guy? Some of the media is weird. The best situation is for 12 to ball out so the Browns know they have their guy and can use the next year's draft to build around. Again, Lawrence, to some people, it's not about the Browns winning. They don't care about that. They want to win with the people they like or identify with. If you think winning is all people care about, that's a lie and a cop-out. Go look at voting habits. People vote for people they like and vote against their own interest. But they cut this and they cut that. And how am I going to do that? What didn't you? They told you they was going to do that. Why would you? Now you're up. What are you talking about? People vote against their own good all the time because voting is not about the greater good of prosperity or whatever you think it is. It's about who you identify with. It's tribalism. So if you think people want the best quarterback to play just because he's good, that plays some part, but more than times than not, no, it's just who I like, who I want to see play. It ain't that hard. Appreciate you, G. Alfonso. Thank you so much for the super chat. Shania, I can only imagine the pressure. Lord, please give them peace and focus. Too many haters will be tuned in, expecting them to fail. They will be put to shame. Excited. Oh, by the way, thank you for the pronunciation. Ochanya? Ochanya. Ochanya. Hopefully I got that. Thank you, though. I appreciate your pronunciation. I'll be wanting to get people's names right. Matthew Cherry, excited for the opportunity for Shedeur. He's built for this. Keep representing G. Bush and speaking positively. Happy early Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all my people out here. I'm thankful for each and every one of you for pulling up on me on Saturdays. I'm thankful for each and every member. I'm thankful for each and every person that likes, comments, does anything. We appreciate you so much. This has been a blessing for me because of the community atmosphere. I look forward every single day coming on here on Saturdays talking with y'all. And I wish you nothing but happy holidays and the best life, liberty, health, all the above on Thanksgiving. Lord of the Drip, prepare a table in the presence of my enemies. Watch him work. Won't he do it? Won't he? Sean Williams, MVP. Allen got sacked 8 times. Drift. Lamar sacked 5 times. Not saying Shedeur is like them after 2 quarters. Cam Moore got sacked 6 times in the debut. Caleb Williams sacked 9 times in the debut. Aikman and Manning led in interceptions. Why the hate? Well, it's easy to criticize people you don't like and make excuses for people who you do like. Now, it takes too much time for me to dive into why people don't like him. There's a number of things, right? But sometimes it's funny how humans, when things are close to home, we have the ability to give grace. Grace is extended for those who are close. But we seem to always think the worst of people who we may not know or identify with. So when Dylan Gabriel gets sacked, I've seen him get sacked 6 times and 5 times. I seen him get sacked 5 times against the Jets. I saw him get sacked 6 times against the Steelers. But somehow we don't talk about the same drifting. The only person who's ever been sacked 6 and 5 times in a game is Dylan Gabriel, not Shedeur Sanders. I think that's kind of wild, right? Row 3 wrist ups behind the Browns, repping the shop. Thank you, my guy. We appreciate you. As always, flying in from Cali to support nephew. Hey, man, make sure you support Loud and Proud. It's going to be a movie out there. Always keeps it real. Oliver Hayes, thank you so much for the super chat. Alfonso, 500 yards, 5 touchdowns will break the internet. I might have to let him do that. Listen, I might have to put my resignation. Nah, I ain't gonna resign. I might have to, we might have to do a live stream for 5 hours for every 100 yards he done threw and every touchdown. Ms. Bell, sabotage, delivery, destroy, damage, or obstruct. Call it what you want. Just know it doesn't work on God's plan. Sure don't. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't want to see me balling. Can't stand that barber guy. He's always talking about God. Always borderline on things of race. He's just out there. He's always making these sensational claims. But I was the one who told you it's a matter of time. Have you ever seen a quarterback go from the 4th string to the 1st string in 12 weeks? After they came out and told you they wanted to redshirt him and drafted another quarterback? I told you it'll be tough, but he's gonna get his job. He's gonna get a shot, and he'll stay on the field based on what he do. That day is Sunday. Brandon Ayuk will be released by the 49ers in the offseason. Could be worth a look. Sounds like a diva issues, though. Something to watch. Well, receivers, you're going to always have some problem childs. I'd rather have problem childs than no childs. Or the child pleases, the one that can't catch the ball, child please. I'd rather have the headache than not have nothing. G. Bush, did you see the sack Allen took on Thursday night? Dude ran back 15 yards and nobody said a word about it. It's crazy that Shedeur gets killed for it. Here's the thing. To be honest, the reason is Josh Allen got an MVP. Josh Allen is he also breaks the record for how many touchdowns in a game. And the Bills are always competing for the last 5 years for Super Bowl. So when you have those things, he's going to come in with a built-in, that's Josh Allen, he can get that off. Problem with Shedeur Sanders is, he hasn't played. And when you haven't played and you haven't had the level of accolades or the wild, Patrick Mahomes can run around and do what he wants. Lamar Jackson can run back 75 yards. No one cares. Josh Allen can do the same. Justin Herbert's not getting benched. Dak Prescott's not getting benched. There's a number of people that do that. Now, trust me, if Shedeur Sanders get to a point where he's stamped, and he done put on film millions of times he can make that play, nobody won't say nothing. It's just the nature of how it goes. Lord of the Drip, keep it a buck. This game will have unprecedented national attention. So all these Browns offensive players are going to play for their future. Those who can will be better. This is pressure for all of them. You are correct. They will be watching. Myles Garrett wants to break the sack record. And every single body, the electricity in the arena will be there. Did you see the way they cheered when he came into that Ravens game? The offensive lineman had to be like, calm down, my G. He got it. And it's going to be more Browns fans in there than anybody. National media, celebrities out the wazoo, watch. Leslie Rutherford, thank you so much for becoming a member. We appreciate you joining the family. 12 cooks, Dylan is back. Can't lose your job because of injuries. That wouldn't be a good optics to the team. Dylan plays bad against San Francisco. 12 is back. Nope. That ain't the way it worked. Who told you that? Who told you that? You can lose your job. Listen. You can lose your job on your day off. You can lose your marriage. You ain't even do nothing wrong. You're like, but babe, I was a good husband. Why not? No. That's according to you. What you mean you can't? Who made that rule up? Tom Brady came in for Drew Bledsoe and never gave up the job. Bye-bye. What do you mean you can't? Brock Purdy came into the game. Trey Lance was injured. They wasted 3 first-round draft picks on him. Kyle Shanahan was like, yeah, we want that guy. Brock Purdy was the guy. You got to understand something. If he plays well, there is no way in you know what they can take him out the game. First and foremost, the players will have a mutiny. Second of all, you think they're going to pass up the opportunity to sell that doggone stadium out in front of home fans in another winnable game after he plays well? The optics would be even worse putting Dylan Gabriel back in the game. It ain't nothing. Look at these optics. What about this optic right here is good? Again, I always tell people, the burden, if these were Shedeur Sanders numbers, nobody would be saying, hey, Shedeur shouldn't lose his job because he got hurt. They would be like, it's Dylan Gabriel's turn. So who's the liar? Jimmy, who said that we would see Shedeur, or the latest narrative that the intent all along was to redshirt him? Spoken Soul PhD. That sounds like spin, don't it? Oh, we always had a plan for him. We was getting him ready after practice and everything. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't say his name 3 days ago. You still can't say his name. What are you talking about? We know where that came from. K Journey. We can legit see a shift in the players during the interviews off topic. Hope y'all have a great holiday party. Thank you, K Journey. I wish you nothing but blessing on Thanksgiving and the holidays to you and your family. And that energy was different. It's going to be different on the field. I can't wait. Lawrence, my idea situation is 12 to ball out, and me knowing Coach Bozo to himself, he will be announced that Dollar General is back as starter. Get your popcorn. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Because we'll be right over here. Go ahead. You bad. You bad. You tough. Let them ball out and win. And who's your starting quarterback? We're going to go back to Dylan. Oh, that'd be great. I can't wait to do that episode on the Barbershop. Neil Gray, just let the kid play stress-free and pressure-free. Just like Hollow the Don did in his opportunity to allow Shedeur to do the same. Let him showcase his tools and proxy. And you know what the greatest, like this is the thing that we get is, and I think I said Hollow to Don. Hollow to Don is a great freestyler. And the thing about Shedeur Sanders is he freestyles on plays too, which gives you an opportunity. And that's the reason Shedeur Sanders shouldn't be, go out there and play. They already told you what they feel. So don't go out there playing tight. If they plan on putting Dylan in the game, you go out there and have fun, let it hang out, and go out here and try to get you a win. And let your chips fall where they may. Because the same opportunity that Dylan got, they've made it painfully obvious you're not going to get that. So go out there and kill it. Do your thing. Sandy's chance. I refuse the narrative that Shedeur is a failure if Vegas doesn't go well. You know how that goes. We seen it. Just flip-flop, Sandy. Just flip-flop the numbers and ask yourself, would they say Dylan Gabriel's a failure if he played in one game? K Journey, the character assassination of 12 just needs to stop. He's always been a likable guy. I wish people would just let him cook and stop demonizing him. There's a lot of insecure men out here, though, too. There's a lot of insecure people. Some people, they don't like Brad. They don't like the swag, the bravado. They don't like a lot of stuff. Well, that's you. You stay in your place where you at. You let me cook how I'm going to cook. The Browns will always do the stupid thing. Discord drip. You are correct. But the thing about it is, we asked for the opportunity. The opportunity is upon us. Make sure you check us out. UCSS. We will be doing the live watch party. Make sure you get the watch party. We will be going live, and then come on back here because we will get to the barbershop as well. With that being said, you never know where G-Bush might show up. Radio, television, internet. You want the fresh cut on sports? I give it to you. Have a great rest of your Saturday and get some sleep because we in for a party tomorrow night right here on the barbershop.